In late 2013 the world was treated to the release of the next generation in gaming consoles. The two main contenders of the console wars were, of course, Sony's PlayStation 4 and Microsoft's Xbox One. Sony's PlayStation 4 has many new and advanced characteristics, as well as being packed to the brim with cutting-edge technology. The PlayStation 4 was also plagued with some initial problems, however, as we will discover. First of all, let's start with the design of the PlayStation 4. It is a parallelogram shape, with the front end of it being angled upwards and the back end of it being angled downwards. Sony officials state that there were specific reasons for this design. They say the front end is angled upwards so that the power and eject buttons are easier for the user to press, although they are somewhat difficult to find when first using the system. The back of the system slopes downwards to hide the cables plugged into the back better, in order to make your entertainment cabinet look less cluttered. The controller that accompanies the PlayStation 4 is the DualShock 4, which has some rather sophisticated features including a touchpad interface and an inbuilt speaker. The interface on the PS4's controller is a capacitive touchpad, meaning that it can support two touches at once, and can therefore be used as a form of controller for gaming as seen in War Thunder. The DualShock 4 also has a share button that allows you to add screenshots and gameplay to your Facebook feed as well as Twitch and Ustream. Sony's whole system is built with the idea of sharing and streaming at its core, so it's no surprise that they decided to include a button for it on the controller. The DualShock 4's interface has many uses, one of which is to edit and trim the 15 minutes of gameplay that your PS4 can record when you press the share button. The DualShock 4 also features an LED light bar, not unlike the LED ball on the PlayStation Move. It sits along the top of the controller, and changes color for various different gaming scenarios like a player or damage indicator, but it also offers move-like controls. The DualShock 4 also has a built-in speaker that lets you hear additional sounds when gaming, although there's also a headphone jack which lets you hear these additional sounds in greater detail as well as your friends' voices during chats. For Metal Gear Solid fans like myself who are eagerly anticipating Ground Zero, it's easy to imagine taking incoming codec calls, or radio transmissions, by holding the controller to your face like Big Boss's radio. The start and select buttons from all of the DualShock 4's predecessors have been dropped in favor of a single options button that covers all aspects of the previous two buttons. Other than this, the buttons of the DualShock 4 have the same layout as the DualShock 3. The buttons of the controller have been reshaped and remodeled, however, most notably the L2 and R2 buttons and the dual analog sticks. This redesign was carried out on the wishes of the system's developers, as well as the vocal gaming community. The DualShock 4 controller also has a new way of making multitasking easier. When using the controller, if you double tap the PlayStation button then you'll swap between your last two used applications. So if you're gaming, then pause to take a look at which of your friends are online, it's a simple switch back to where you were, no saving required. The PS4 itself is quite a remarkable piece of technology. Sony has ditched Cell, the old processor from the PS3 in favor of a single-chip custom processor, an x86-64 AMD Jaguar that has 8 cores. There is a second processing chip in the system that is dedicated to the management of uploads and downloads. The GPU is an AMD Radeon-based graphics engine that is capable of making 1.84 trillion calculations per second. The PS4 also packs an improbable 8 GB of GDDR5 memory. To give you an idea of how advanced that is, come 2016 it will still be cutting-edge technology. The system is designed to always stay in standby mode rather than turning off, and can even do a few things whilst in standby. The PS4 has put a stop to the frustrating process of having to download a large software update by updating when it is in standby mode. This means no more unnecessary waiting when all you want to do is play. And it's able to charge the DualShock 4 controller when it's in standby mode too. Nice. There is also a new suspend mode which lets the user switch off the console, and then store the current games in state memory. When the user later returns to the PS4 and engages the power, the game instantly carries on where last they left off, thus erasing the process of having to boot the system and load the game. The PS4 also has some features exclusive to it that the Xbox One doesn't. One such thing is that Sony is not going to outlaw pre-owned games on the PS4. Microsoft caused uproar within the gaming community when it was revealed that all second-hand games would need to have a second online code bought with them on top of the second-hand game's retail price. But it has been confirmed that this is in fact not the case with the PS4. You can also watch Netflix and other similar streaming services without having a PlayStation Plus subscription. Although this is the same as it was with the PlayStation 3, the Xbox One needs Xbox Live Gold to use Netflix and other media services. As well, the PS4 will not always require an online connection as the Xbox One will, sort of.